Everybody, get up.
Let's go.
Get up.
Fire up, Kale.
It's that time.
Fire it up.
We are so back. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show.
Let's go.
Live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Go ahead and hop yourself in the Toyota chat. Talk with your fellow Nuggets fans. Let's preview. Guys, this is a pregame show and a series preview, all in one.
Yeah, we just run efficiently here. We're efficient shooters.
We're so efficient, man. We're going to get a lot done because we haven't talked about this series. The last time you guys saw us, the thrill of Game 7 victory.
We're going to find out what each other thinks about the series in real time.
Right now, about to happen. I got Harrison Wind in the building.
Man, I feel like I never left this place.
I
just can't believe we're back. Game 1 of round 2. Like, one more day off would have felt right.
Yeah.
Feels like we're really just jumping back into this thing, man.
Nuggets got to do their work sooner, I guess.
And we're not even playing.
We're not even playing. D-Line Co's here.
That's right, guys. I hope that the Nuggets didn't celebrate them winning this first round like I did, because they're not ready if that's the case.
Yeah, I think they might have put a little more into it, although you never know. Rounding out the show, Superstar Dev.
I have an idea. Winner gets to be the MVP.
Whoa!
Throw it all on the line.
Might as well do it, man.
Yeah, you know, right? I'm with it.
You know what? Let's do it. That's what it's all about. Nuggets taking on the Thunder. They're in Oklahoma City to start. They are the number one, Oklahoma City, the number one team in the Western Conference. They got 68 wins. They had a phenomenal year.
Number one vacation destination, Oklahoma City.
But now it's 0-0 as we reset it. Let's get into some game notes here.
Game notes. Nuggets come into this game with a fully healthy roster again.
Well, sure.
I'm just going based off what the team says.
Okay, everybody's healthy.
Fully healthy.
So
Denver
Michael
Nuggets.
Porter can raise his left arm above his head?
Apparently, he's not dealing with
He
anything.
can raise it
now.
enough to make 4 threes. I think he's
It
fine.
will be interesting to track like the diaper throughout the rounds. You know, is it still as
can we check in?
obvious? Is it still as
pronounced
as it was in round 1?
We didn't even talk about this last game. This is how early this is coming. I still have a note from Game 7.
We haven't even done hangover takes from
Haven't
Game
even done
7.
it. Do you guys remember? This was honestly a very impressive play from Mike. Drives left, right down the middle, where usually you would right foot, left hand dunk, but because his arm doesn't work, he twists his body sideways and dunks right.
His arm just doesn't work.
It was the most unnatural dunk ever, but it was the only way he could dunk.
He really, his entire career is colored by having to change the way he does something because his body is broken.
But still effective. Shout out, Mike.
The Thunder are fully healthy as well, and I actually believe that one.
Yeah, they've been off for 3 months.
They haven't played since April 26th.
That is what a pro wants. That's what a pro needs.
Well, that was closeout game 4, April 26th.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is that series was Memphis, to me, by far the worst team in the. I'm not trying to discount Oklahoma City beat them like a drum, but they were horrible. So you even have to go before that. Then they had the play-in tournament week off, and then they didn't have a meaningful game for like 2 weeks before that.
And they really only played one half of that game.
Which one?
Wasn't game 4 the one they came back, or was that game 3?
I don't even remember
The
their
one
series.
without John Morant that they came back from like 20 down.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah, it
game
was game
3.
4. No, was it 3? Oh, game 3.
So they played like 3.5 games in that series.
I mean, it is a weird thing. Like, I think it's obviously a net positive to be this rested. I mean, we know what Denver did the year they won the title. They were very rested.
Absolutely.
So it pays off. But their rest extends so far, man. They have not had like a truly meaningful game for a month.
Yeah.
I know the playoffs were meaningful, but they were so easy.
We're in the full rest versus rust conversation.
Full on, man.
Well, it's good you brought that up, D-Line, because David Adelman was asked about the rest versus rust.
What about rest versus
Rest
rust?
versus rust. Rust with a T. Conundrum. And he said, I think the advantage is rest.
Oh, sick.
I don't think he's right about that.
And he thinks the disadvantage is rust?
Yeah, that would be what he was inferring, yes. The disadvantage is rust. The advantage is rest. So he'd take rest. I think he's right with that. And he was also talking about, Aaron Gordon's calf and some of the injuries the Nuggets have been dealing with. David Adelman said it's the ultimate day-to-day. He's pushed that thing. He's taking a chance every time he goes out there. I mean, how good was he in Game 7? An all-time series from Aaron Gordon, David Adelman said.
Love that.
He was also talking about, just turning the page, playing the Thunder. He said the refreshing thing is, and it's crazy to say this about the best team in the league, but it's a new team. We game planned for 7 games for the same team. By the end of that series, he said we stopped even talking about play calls. Our play calls, their play calls. Now I feel like, there's a rejuvenation about just getting to the next thing, focusing on a new team. And finally, he was talking about Isaiah Hartenstein. And he said, look, it's so hard to be a backup to Nikola Jokić. I think him leaving was good for his career, but not for us.
Man, I miss Malone. These are very boring quotes.
Well, one thing I thought,
give me something spicy. It's better to rest. What about Hartenstein? He's doing better. Okay.
David Adelman also. There's been this podcast talking about me as a pregnant man. Don't know where that's coming from, but
that's what
I'm with it. I get it. Yeah, they're saying the Nuggets have been reborn through me, by me, something like that.
Can you imagine?
Now that would be sick. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm not pregnant. I just want to get out there, get the rumors out there right now.
Just everyone get this out of the way. My body, my choice.
Oh my God.
Hold on. He did not say that.
One thing you that he said to open up the press conference was he said, like, he's just always asked, do you feel like your team's ready? And he said, based on like talking with them and seeing their approach, like they are approaching this as if they're ready. He's like, my read on it is the team looks like they are ready, which, I mean, a coach is never going to come out and say, like,
we're just not ready.
We're just not ready.
This is going to be a bad one.
We're like,
I talked to him earlier,
dude.
so distracted.
He's like, when you like have a big project to turn and you did not study, it's like, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Like,
well, sometimes a coach will say something like, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Malone would say that a lot, actually.
Yeah, we'll see.
But what's interesting is David Adelman said pretty much the exact same thing before Game 7.
Yeah.
Like verbatim.
Yeah.
He was like, just judging from what I can, the guys seem ready.
Yeah. I do think you can talk around that question, but it was the point that he said, you know what? Everybody seems locked in.
Yeah.
And it also given on Brendan Vogt's comments about in the locker room after the game where guys were not celebratory. They were like, okay, on to the next one.
I love that. I mean, it'd be embarrassing. They've won the championship. Now they're like, yeah, round 1 against the Clippers again.
It is true. But, let's get into the preview part of this because we can go a little bit long on these middle segments since we haven't been here yet to preview this one. I'll start us off, guys. I think the number one line item for me, I mean, there's the depth versus shallow. Denver's kind of a shallow roster. They're going to have to open that up. But I start with turnovers.
Yep.
The reason the Thunder are good is because they get extra possessions at an insanely high rate. They don't turn it over, and they force you to turn it over. Denver, when they're locked in, controls the ball. They don't turn it over. But when they are a little careless, the turnovers can pile up. Oklahoma City is a team that really presses that advantage. If you trip up, they're going to go on runs.
Yeah. And we saw that haunt the Nuggets at times in that Clippers series. I mean, they had some games, and you could chalk this up to a couple of the losses against the Clippers of just awful turnovers.
Yeah.
Just not really locked in. Jokić had some bad ones throughout the series. Everybody did. And I agree, like, that might be line item number 1. The Thunder are a great defense, too. I mean, their defense, they're a little bit different, I feel like, than the Clippers. Because I feel like the Thunder fly around a little more.
For sure.
They're like more active. They got more of these like quick guys, whereas the Clippers are like way longer.
Yeah.
I almost feel like. So it's a different type of defense, but another great defense. Yeah, the Nuggets are going to have to be, they're going to have to take care of the ball, no doubt.
Yeah, sticking with that, like them being a faster defense. The Clippers were a team that kind of waited for you to punish yourself. Like just kind of slow, we're going to wait for you to do it. The Thunder are forcing you into those turnovers. They're trying to push you like into those. Like they're trapping. They're sending different looks. Like that's fast the entire time. So I really do think that that's where the difference is. So Denver is going to have to take care of the ball, but also that plays to the advantage for Denver as well if you are able to take care of the ball because it puts them in a lot of compromise spots. So Denver take care of the ball early. I think that leads to a lot of easy scoring opportunities.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, they've got great point of attack defenders. This is going to be something that Jamal Murray is going to be dealing with a lot. Christian Brown, it probably helps Jokic a little bit more in a series like this because of that, honestly. I imagine they'll collapse down on him a lot, but you got to think that they'll want to get the ball into. I imagine him maybe transitioning down to the block maybe a little bit more than he has in the last series. We'll see. But, I mean, defense, obviously. The Thunder defense is definitely part of their strength.
Another part of their defense, though, and I found this stat thanks to NBA.com, they have allowed a 30-point scorer 12 times this year.
Wow.
By far the fewest. They do not allow individuals to go off. Wow. One of those 12 times, Nikola Jokić on March 10th.
Yep.
So he had 35 points in that monster game. But that's kind of a big deal to me because we're going to look at numbers. We're going to be like, Jamal needs to have a big night. That's tough to do. More often, 1 out of every 8 games, they allow a 30-point score.
Well, I mean, if you want to ride current trends, I mean, that bodes well for the Denver Nuggets, who just had an insanely balanced attack from their entire starting lineup.
That's a good point.
They really spread the ball out, and they weren't trying to just force it through one person. Given, if you want to look at the fact that they just stopped going through Nikola Jokić.
Yeah.
So in the place that the Nuggets are currently, that actually sounds like, something they can overcome.
Dev, what's the biggest scoring game we're going to get tonight from a Nugget player? Are we going to see a 30-piece tonight from somebody?
Absolutely. I think that we see
Jokić.
I think we see a 40 ball from Jokić.
All right.
I really do. I think that the Thunder are just, they're smaller. They're just they're not. I mean, I think that the Clippers are long, of course, but I just think that not having Zubac just bang with them the entire time and force them into that. Also being able to get on the move. We didn't see Jokic with coming off of his, the pin down, come around the corner and just go straight to the basket because Zubac was ready for that. I don't feel like Hartenstein is ready for that. He also fouls a lot, but also Chet's just tiny. He's just very small.
Fold him up into a little.
So I think that he's I mean, he's not. I mean, he's tall and stuff like that. But I just think that he's just so much bigger than them, and he's also going to have to be aggressive. He has to set the tone early so that he could force the Thunder's hand. And I think that that's going to be the game plan, is to see what they're going to throw at you if you go at them aggressive early on.
Is there going to be a permanent sub storyline to talk about? That's what I was.
Oh my God!
I thought we were getting to that.
I didn't even think about that yet. We haven't previewed the series.
I mean, we're going to really hate Mark Daigneault by the end of this, but I'm kind of with Dev. I think Jokic has some monster games this series because he might have to.
Yeah.
Zubac, as great as he is as a defender, he does have the size, the strength, and I think that's part of it. I don't know if Hartenstein does as much. Zubac's also just great at not fouling, and I think Hartenstein can fall into a falling pattern. That being said, there are 2 of them. We all know the Rui adjustment, or really it's the Karl-Anthony Towns-Gobert adjustment. Put one center on Jokic, bring another center over to help off. They're designed to do that naturally. That's their natural default setting. So I do think that, Jokic can draw fouls, but I don't know if I'm expecting 40 from him tonight. I think 40 is going to be tough in this series, given the personnel they have.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just like any series, it's going to be give and take, right? It leaves it open for Michael Porter Jr. probably most to benefit. I imagine he and Chet will be matched up on each other. Chet probably
defensively they won't though. On when the Thunder are in defense, I think yes. The other way it's AG. So he could roam is the idea.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that should open it up for some of the shooters. If those start to fall, then it opens it up back up for Jokic. I just think, like what Dev was saying, Jokic is going to be able to catch balls on the move, and I don't know that you'll be able to bracket him in the same way.
It'll be key to get him on the move.
Yeah, sure. Because he could be met by I can't remember his name now. The guy,
Hartenstein?
No, the stupid guy from the Clippers that we just played.
Zubac.
I
love that you just
get
moved
out of here, dude.
Yeah,
we're so far past that Clippers series.
People, 3 months from now, they're going to be like, Zubac guarded Jokic well. You're like, who?
It's no, you can't remember your 4th grade teacher's name anymore.
Mrs. Harris?
Get out of here. Maybe not her. But point being is that he's able to meet Jokic at the end of those curl routes, those wheel routes, to be able to give him and meet him physically. And I don't know that the Thunder are able to do that. So
yeah. Depth is going to be a big storyline, especially tonight, because I think that Peyton Watson plays a huge role in this series. Because who else is going to guard Shai?
Yeah.
CB probably a little bit, but he hasn't had a ton of success on him. Do you guys actually remember who the real Shea stopper was? One time.
Vlatko. What was it, one possession? Or two
No, but
possessions?
one game. It was like one game. I don't know if they ever played each other.
I mean, but really, how many possessions was it?
There wasn't many.
I'm with you. When we put out our preview today, I had Peyton Watson as my X factor for that reason. I liked how he played in that Clippers series, especially towards the end of it. You know, those last couple games, he was great. He played his role. He did exactly what the Nuggets needed him to do, and he hit some big shots, like a couple big threes in Game 6 and 7. And I think the Nuggets' defensive personnel better suited to actually guard the Clippers than the Thunder. Clippers might be just like a better offensive team, but they have more. They're better equipped to guard Harden, Christian Brown, and Kawhi, Aaron Gordon than I think to guard Shai. They don't have a great matchup for him. Maybe Peyton Watson can give you 20 minutes a game. That would be a big step up from round one, but they might need it. And I just have more confidence now in him than I did before the Clipper series started.
Yeah, and they're going to double him a lot. They did
in that last regular season game too.
They figured that out. Like, I mean, obviously for every adjustment, there's a counter. So we'll see how long that lasts. But I think that they're very comfortable with the idea that they can't do it with one guy, and they'll work in a way that I would imagine gets more than one guy paying attention to him.
Yeah. What do you think about Peyton Watson's chances in the series?
I think you have to go to him, especially in game 1, game 2, especially with not a lot of time in between games. So the depth is an answer. Also, just a versatile defender where they're playing a lot faster, which bodes well for Peyton Watson. He also started scoring a bit in that second, later on as the series went along, and that's important for Denver's bench unit because you are going to have to match with scoring. It's not going to be just slow pace the entire time where you could buy a couple of minutes. You're going to have to answer. So I do think that this is a play Peyton Watson. Also, give SGA as many bodies as possible. He also could guard Jalen Williams. So I think that that's just another reason to be able to put him on the court, to add extra minutes, to get him different looks.
Yeah. What other storylines, Dev? What else do you see in this series that's like one of the keys?
I mean, of course, it's Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, that's true. Homecoming.
It's Russell Westbrook. It's a homecoming place.
Revenge game again.
This is a revenge game, but in the narrative of like that was home for him for a very long time. Like there's not bad blood or anything like that. I just think that it's I'm going to show out because this is where I love to be. They're going to welcome him in. But also, I have an agenda. I have something that I want to do. I want to accomplish a goal, and you guys are in the way of that goal. So I think that that's important. This is the Russell Westbrook resurgence tour right now where he's just putting everyone on notice that I'm still here. And why not do it against, the Thunder? So I think that's going to be important, as well as he is the leader of that second unit. He's pretty much a starter at this point. He brings energy. He brings life. He brings wisdom against a young team. So I think that that's going to be exciting. I think that he's a huge narrative in this one.
He brings insanity. You don't quite know what you're going to get. Giveth, taketh. For me, like are we giving our overall feelings about the series?
If you want to.
Well, here's what I think that the more I've thought about this, where I've come to with this series, is we saw it fairly recently. Like the earlier games, obviously the Nuggets split with the Thunder over the course of the season, but there was, in every game, there was an asterisk. There was somebody was out, somebody wasn't playing. Down the stretch, we saw them 2 back-to-back games. One we got smoked, and the next one we responded and we won that game. And that actually gives me a lot of confidence that we are now going into a matchup that has shown that it can be schemed. Like you can scheme to win. Like you can win, you can beat these players with the correct scheme. And I feel like David Adelman versus Mark Dagnall, there's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse thing going on, like a scheming against one another.
They're kind of the same person, I feel like. Schematically.
Yeah, dude. And I feel good about that. Like I think that you can get under the skin of these young players And I think that you can break them eventually. Like, I think if you can, like, I am positive we're going to get our asses kicked minimum 2 games. Like, we're going to get thumped.
Maybe
2
tonight.
games.
Stay tuned.
I don't think it'll be tonight. Tonight, I think rust is on our side.
Okay.
And the next game, I think we're going to get thumped.
Okay.
So, but I think that there's enough adjustments, and at the end of the day, the Nuggets can break these young kids.
What about Jamal Murray?
Well, I was going to go there because, like, can the Nuggets score in this series?
That's a big question,
I
man.
think that's a big question to talk about. They've got Lou Dort. What was he? 4th in Defensive Player of the Year voting.
Yeah.
Arguably the best guard, wing defender, pound for pound in the NBA. They've got the size and length inside. They have good defenders all over their roster. I mean, they bring in Case and Wallace off the bench. You know, Jalen Williams, good defender. SGA. You know, maybe that's the guy you actually go at if you're just talking about who's going to be the mark out there. I think the Nuggets might have a tougher time scoring in this series than they did against the Clippers.
Well, let me give you some numbers here. They are 19-0 when holding opponents under 100 points. First of all, undefeated, and also it happened 19. They had 19 Munders.
They had 19 Munders?
19 Munders. And on top of that, they are 50-1 when they hold opponents under 110 points.
Yeah.
You have to score 111 to beat this team.
Wow.
That's regular season stuff.
Munder's always on their menu.
Munder permanently on the menu.
Munder
and I
buffet,
mean,
dude.
what it comes down to is it's just like the Nuggets, I think, if I'm just giving my general thoughts on this series, I think the Nuggets can win this series. It is going to take a really high effort, though. Like, it is going to take a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 series from Denver. They got to play most of these games like they did in Game 5 and Game 7, I think, to win this series.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's going to be really hard. And if they do win this series, we're going to be talking about them potentially winning a championship because that's how good they're going to have to play, I think.
Let's go on to X Factors now. As we get into X Factors, Dev, you want to start us off?
Russell Westbrook. You say the whole same thing.
Of course.
All right.
I hate that
Would you
you
rather-
said that. Why'd you ruin my moment?
Would you rather would you rather just go right into predictions? Let's just go into predictions then if we've kind of shared our X Factors.
My predictions is thunderstorm, thunderclap. No, I'm
Thunder,
joking.
the Broncos mascot.
Thunder lips.
No, I really do think that Thunder thighs, Nuggets in 5.
Nice.
No, I really do. I think that this is a series that the Nuggets, I mean, it's them versus the world, and that is a spot that they're comfortable in. That is a spot that they want to be in, that they're doubted. I'm excited to see them answer that call, for them to continue to, like, own that, because it's been a while since they've been in that spot. But the last time they were in that spot, it was a championship. I know you guys remember that. So I really do think that this is something that they rally behind and show up for one another. And really, I think that the Nuggets have a chance in this one. I think that they're going to win this series. Not Nuggets in 5, but I think that they'll win this series.
Okay.
This is a classic head versus heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
My head is not the most confident I've ever been. I'll say that. But my heart feels like everything is coming together for the Nuggets at the exact right time. I'm getting you know how bullish I've been on the Nuggets since the pregnant man, since we've got all of our players back. Like, I just see them getting better and better and better every game. I see them playing for one another. I see them with a renewed sense of purpose. I don't think that you can look at their seeding to mean anything in this series. I think you could very easily draw parallels between this Nuggets team and the last Warriors team that won it all, when Klay Thompson came back at the end of the year and they went on their run and they rekindled the magic. We'll see. I mean, I think the Thunder are very confident right now, and I think that could actually work against them pretty heavily if they really just feel like, you know, they're going to breeze through this because the world is gassing them up, which you understand. But I think I'm picking Nuggets in 6, actually, because I think
At home.
it'll be at home, and I kind of think that if the Nuggets can out-scheme them, that they can sort of beat them at their own game, which I think
it's
is
a good
possible.
take, honestly. I think a lot of this comes down to, can Denver out-scheme them?
Yes, because I mean, I'm basing that on the fact that we literally saw 2 games. One where they came in without a scheme of any kind, they got their doors blown off, and then the next game they made like a bunch of changes where it was just like, okay, we're gonna bracket Shai at the top. We're not gonna let him be comfortable at all. Changed everything.
Yeah.
So those are my feelings.
Yeah, I've got Nuggets in 7, and I think a reason the Nuggets can win this series is if it's a deep series. I'm kind of with D-Line. I wonder if the Nuggets' experience and playoff pedigree can really make an impact. And just like the Thunder, they've been in the spot a little bit, not nearly as much as the Nuggets have. They didn't feel any heat, any pressure in that first round at all. They breezed right through it. They didn't even try in the first half of one of those games. They had no pressure on them, and the Nuggets are the underdog now, a heavy, heavy underdog, and that's where they're most comfortable. We know that, and so, again, like I said earlier, I think it's going to take, I'm not going to say a perfect series for the Nuggets to win. I think they need to play like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 series, but I think they can get it done.
So I went with the downer pick. I went with Thunder in 5, and here's
Good. It's good to have this pick.
I also committed a couple years ago to never picking against Nikola Jokić in a series.
It's a smart take,
It's just
man.
kind
It's
of a life rule I have to abide by now.
Here's what I will say about it, though. My first, what I think is most likely is Thunder in 5. Part of this has to do with the fatigue factor and just how much does Denver have in the tank. Part of it is just respect for a team that did a really good job this year. But my second pick, you almost say most likely second. My second most likely would be Nuggets in 7.
Yeah.
And then I think after that, or I'm sorry, Nuggets in 6. And then after that, I think I might go Nuggets in 7. And what I mean by that is I think Denver has to survive these first 4 games.
Yep.
They're brutal. Coming off a 7-game series, you have to readjust your focus, you're fatigued, all this stuff. And then as you have noted, Game 4 is 36 hours after Game 3.
Insane.
It's not even 2 days away. It's a day and a half. That will be a really tough one for Denver. But if they can survive that, if they can get this series to 1-1 or 2-2,
if they can
I
just
actually
extend
love Denver down the home stretch of this. That's where I think Denver gets to an advantage. If they fall down 0-2, it's going to be really hard, in my opinion, for them to bounce back, given the thing. So I went with Thunder in 5. I hope I'm wrong.
I think the graphic we have you Thunder in 6.
Or Thunder in 6. All right, there you go. The winning on the road.
I just think if they can extend the series, if Nuggets can extend the series to 6 or 7 games, they have a chance.
That's where it comes from for me. If the Nuggets get a couple of wins, I really do think that the Thunder have been just like, they've been up by so much every single time that I want to see what the resiliency looks like, or if they're able to overcome that. Because, they're front runners in a way. They have not, really won anything to merit as much love and credit that they get. And until they prove that, I'm going to go against them. Yeah. I would like to see them lose a game or go down in a series 2-1 and then just start rallying. I don't see them doing that. So if the Nuggets are able to win a game or 2, I really do think that they're just going to overthink or overplay. And then that gets the Nuggets to be very confident. And if you get a confident Jokić, get a confident Jamal, which I think we're going to get with everyone else around them, I think that they win the series.
Yeah, I like it. All right, our pregame picks are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Dev, let's make some money on Game 1.
Let's make some money. I'll be quick. Very little time. Nuggets come into this game.
Still going.
I'm sorry. Do you think that the game is going to start on time?
All right.
Kale is
Nuggets go into this
first game. It's his first game.
What is this,
It's
the
his
NFL?
It's his first game.
Hey, he's just doing his job, man. He's just doing his job. Kale, don't do that again, ever. The Nuggets come into this game as 10.5-point favorite. I'm joking. I love Kale. I've never done that to Kale, so sorry about
Until
that,
now.
I didn't even know you knew his name.
The one guy. The guy. 10.5-point favorites, and this all depends on which Nuggets team we're going to get to start the series. How OKC comes out as well. I want to know if Denver's going to punch first or let them punch them. I think that this is a line you should take live. If the Thunder go up 6 points, you're going to get a plus 16, plus 18 or something like that.
Good
I
betting.
like the plus in that, but I think that the Nuggets are going to win. I truly do. So I would take the plus 10.5, but get it at a better line because Bet365 lets you get the live bet. I'm going to go with, which is shocking because you guys talked about how good the Thunder are when they hold teams to under 100. I don't see that happening. This is exciting for me to see a over 228. Every single game has been slow in that last series. I was tired of that. I want to see my betting segment have some overs, and I like the larger numbers. Let's go with over 228 because I don't think Thunder are going to try to slow down, and I think that they won't be able to slow down Denver. It's crazy.
Knicks just took a lead. Holy
On
crap.
the Thunder side of things, I mean, come on. It's the guy we know who's going to win MVP going against the guy who is the MVP. SGA will try to make a statement. His team is going to make sure that they try to make a statement. This is an easy one. Bet the over on points. Bet365 has a bet that I promise started today. I almost took it as a lock. They have free throws attempted as a thing that you could bet on now. Free throws attempted. What would you bet SGA's is at?
See, this is the playoffs, though. We don't know.
We know. we know. It's at 7.5.
Oh, my
Go
God.
ahead and get the over on that one. In their last series, a guy that they relied on heavily and a guy that he doesn't seem familiar, but he's very familiar, Isaiah Hartenstein. Let's just get his over on points plus rebounds before he fouls out. It's at 18.5. It's too low. On the Nuggets side of things, for our 3 points bet, I'm sure that the game plan is to stack the paint, make somebody else beat you, which bodes well for Christian Brown. I think that he's just going to be out there, open, ready. He has to knock it down. They have it at over 1.5 at plus money, and I'm going to take that over 1.5. I really like Christian Brown in this series. I think that he's going to be the guy that they don't really have an answer for. He'll try to be the bully in this. I think he gets downhill and tries to get to the free throw line as well. His points are at 17.5 points plus rebounds. In a faster paced series, a lot more focus because he has to be out there the entire time, and he has the most difficult job in this whole series. That's to slow down SGA. I like his points plus rebounds. I like his points as well at 12.5, so make sure you get a bit of both. I think he easily gets the points, but I'll take the insurance. If you thought that the series was personal in the last one for Westbrook, imagine the fire that he's going to come out in this one.
Okay.
A place he still calls home. I'm sure he'll be fired up completely for the whole series, and he'll get the crowd into it at home or away. So I'm betting his over points, rebounds, and assists at 20.5. Just think that that's way too low for him because he could do a little bit of everything. I like Jamal Murray in this one at 19.5 points. I mean, he's going against his fellow Canadian and a player that I'm sure that he's battled with.
The torture chamber.
I'm
the
saying,
whole time.
I don't think we can discount. I said this before. The dual element of this, that Jamal Murray has at least a game, maybe a series, like it looked against Donovan Mitchell, where it's like the two of them are kind of going at it.
Oh, I would love that.
I think this is the one. I really do think that Murray's going to be able to get what he wants in this series.
Canadian
I like the
brother.
over
That's what I mean,
19.5 points.
Like what
AG
he used
is
to
a
do.
unit, and his size will be a lot to handle. I think he opens things up, but also I think he's going to work hard on the boards as well as setting the table as a guard. His rebounds plus assists is at 8.5, and that's too low for me. Our defensive bet is Jokić over 2.5 stops. I think he's going to get that in steals alone, and for the lock. Hello, Old Faithful.
My
We're going to go
goodness.
over 49.5 points, rebounds, and assists because it's very easy to get this line if you have 40 real points. So easy.
I know.
I can't believe you're making this as your lock. I love it. If you
he's
are right,
gonna
I
go
swear to God, I'm
crazy.
giving you so
He's
much
gonna go
props in the
crazy.
post game.
I just think that this is going to be a line that he
right,
grabs
it's a lock.
every board, he sets the table, he scores 40 points. 40-point triple-double? Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
that's 60.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's just going to go over this very easily. But I really like Jokić in this series, and it starts tonight.
Let's go.
If he does that, does he make 1.5 threes?
Oh, he's making
probably.
1.5
If
threes.
you have 40 points, it can't be all in the paint.
All right, I'm putting
Knock
that
some
on there.
things down, too.
All right, super chats here. Alan Roth, 68 wins, MVP, first round sweep, Nuggets in 6. Okay.
Sweet,
Big
baby.
Namic, OKC bringing into existence a permanent sub implies the existence of a permanent dom, and the dominant one's name is Nikola Jokić.
You know what? I'm into it. That's great. That's great.
Permanent
That's a
sub,
great
permanent
little
dom.
flip there. I like it.
Does that count as glazing?
I feel like that is not the last time we're going to hear that in this series.
The permanent dom.
That will probably come up on the watch log, I'm guessing.
If he dominates the series, he will have to become the permanent dom.
Chris Peters.
We should make our thing all about pregnant men.
I mean, just wait for the emoji of the game. For that,
lose all
OKC
of
gave up 30 points to Scottie Pippen Jr. in a playoff game. Anyone on this Nuggets team can score 30. Colby Cheeser, Jamal will be the best Canadian in this series.
Let's go.
All right, guys, guess what we're doing? Watch it along. Head on over. Hit that like button, then head on over. Watch this game with us. We'll see you over there. Here's the Knicks. Quick foul.
We all silly like the mayor.